It's preparing.
You want to start recording too here, over here?
Yes.
Yes, we are live.
Greetings and welcome to Africa Online Media Corporation. It is another day, it is another Sunday, it is another time to come together. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on your time zone. Whatever it is, be free, be happy, be confident that we are going to deliver the goods. Welcome to our show, and please bear with us for the next 90 minutes or so. My name is Asonglefen Kemleke, one of the co-anchors, and I'm going to hit the start button and we'll get going. So today, April the 13th, is the 103rd day of the year 2025 on the Gregorian calendar. So 262 days remain until the end of the year 2025. Today is Palm Sunday, a Christian celebration during which Catholics in particular carry blessed palm branches into the church to commemorate the simple but triumphal entry of their founder, Jesus Christ, into the city of Jerusalem, riding on a donkey. This April 13th also marks the beginning of Holy Week, during which Christians again recall and reenact the story of the passion and death of their founder, Jesus Christ. Palm Sunday apart, various national observances make April 13 even more meaningful. Thus, we remember Thomas Jefferson, the main writer of the United States Declaration of Independence and the third president of these United States. It was under his administration that the Louisiana Territory was done, that the Louisiana Territory purchase was done from France. They bought it at a very cheap price at that time. It is, in fact, Thomas Jefferson's birthday today. He lived from 1743 to 1826. His dedication to democratic ideals laid the groundwork for a new nation, influencing countless leaders and policies. Thomas Jefferson was also an avid advocate of education, founding what would become the University of Virginia that we know today. His vision of individual rights and freedoms continues to inspire movements for democracy worldwide, and his birthday on April 13 serves as a reminder of his contributions to the principles of liberty and equality, ideals many of us continue to fight for today. This April the 13th is also International Creativity and Innovation Day, emphasizing the need for creative and innovative thinking across various sectors. This observance highlights the belief that creativity fuels progress and can reshape our approaches to challenges. One such challenge staring us in the face today is financial literacy and building wealth. We discussed financial literacy last week, so now let us turn our attention to building wealth. What is it all about? Without taking the wind out of our guest's sail, let us say that building wealth demands as much discipline as when you enter your house or your place of worship, depending on your faith. Yes, you need a lot of self-discipline to successfully build wealth. This is so because building wealth, we are told, starts not just with knowing what money is, but making a financial plan to use such money you make in a rewarding way. That means that making time for and taking that time to identify your goals is an essential thing which you must follow religiously because you need to succeed. One expert has even noted that, quote, building wealth begins with a vision and a plan, end of quote. But what does our in-house expert say? What, in effect, is building wealth. Hang on as I turn now to Africa Online's chair, Her Highness Reverend Dr. Pam Fumino, who has the pleasure of welcoming all of us to the discussion. Over to you, Your Highness.
Yeah, Brother Douglas, the noise was not coming from me, it was coming from Professor Asong. His grandson keeps making noise in the background.
No problem. That's
No,
good.
it was not me. I don't have any babies around me. And yes, thank you so much. Tell your grandson that you are live on Africa Online. Unless he has something to contribute about financial literacy and building wealth, he needs to go downstairs. On behalf of Africa Online Media Corporation, I want to welcome all our viewers on YouTube and those who are going to watch on Facebook. And definitely, okay, Brother Douglas, I'm in a place where I can show my face. I apologize, but you already know what I look like, and the viewers do. So I apologize, but you'll be doing most of the talking. So, but anyway, I want to welcome our Brother Douglas. Brother Douglas has been here multiple times. He's also one of our advisors on Africa's Brain Bank, our sister organization, and he's our financial advisor. And I want to welcome you, Sister Debbie. You know, I don't know if you're on the continent or you're in the US. It's hard to keep track with you. I want to welcome Dr. Crosslin, who is always here. And so, Brother Douglas, I'm going to give you the mic. And I want to thank you on behalf of all of God's children, because you educate not just people of African descent, you educate everybody. Every day you are online. I don't know how you do it, but every day you're online. And I want you to know that you're not wasting your time. You are transforming lives. Whether CNN covers it or not, the important thing is that God records it. So thank you so much. What you do is a passion. It's not about money, because you have enough money to retire today, but you want to keep educating people and saving lives also. So I really want to thank you. So I'm going to give the mic over to you, and then once you speak, we'll get our other people on the show to ask you questions. Thank you, Brother Douglas.
Thank you so much. How you doing? I see, thanks Debbie for joining, Dr. Gloria, and of course, Professor. Thank you so much for inviting me to your platform. It's always a pleasure to educate and, inspire those that are gonna get inspired, and also just to pour into everyone, especially this month of financial literacy month that we have going on, a month of April. But I'm just going to jump right in. For those of you that don't know who I am, never met me before or anything, or never seen me before, but my name is Douglas Eze. I've been in the financial services industry now going on 30 years. And I always say the first, 5 years of my of being in the financial services industry, I was pretty much just trying to figure it out, understand sales, and was selling, did well, but I always had a question at the back of my mind on how the wealthy in America keep wealth in the family from one generation to the next. So, as God will have it, I got into this industry and really got to start understanding how wealthy people operate. So behind me is my book that I wrote. I've written a number of books. Creating Generational Wealth was the first book. Great, write up, sharing knowledge about how to really create generational wealth, because everyone talks about it, but there was no blueprint. There was nothing laid out on how to do it the right way. So I had to research how the wealthy families in America, looking at all the corporate families that have been around for years, that their wealth has been around. The person that created the wealth is dead and gone, but the wealth continues to grow. So I wrote that book so you could understand how you can purchase real estate if you're buying it, if you want to transfer it to your children, the right way to do it. Um, Insurance, how to use it, businesses, how to structure your business correct, the right way. So we wrote that book because every one of you on this call have the potential, have the power to build wealth and create wealth for yourself. And if you're working a job or you own a business, you're already doing it. You're already creating wealth. Now, the next thing is, how do you preserve the wealth? So The other books are other just different genre books that I write on, one of my other business, trucking business. But the one I'm very excited about is the white called the Preserving Generational Wealth. So, because after you create it, how do you preserve it? Which is what I've been doing best in the last, I'll say the last 25 years, showing clients how to really preserve and protect their hard-earned wealth, especially after I started understanding that, money is a tool and money wants to work for you, right? Unfortunately, for so many folks, especially immigrants, and when I say immigrants, I mean every immigrant from all over that come to America to live in America, to work in America, to own businesses. I mean, as you'll see, you know, just because you're here as an immigrant doesn't mean you cannot build wealth. So let's start with that conversation. So first, you need to understand the country that you're in. Just like if you go into a business or you start working for a company, you need to understand the company that you just started working for. Now, unfortunately for so many people, when they come to America, they stay in the same position. They don't grow their mindset. They continue doing the same job for 25, 30 years, and they stay in that position and they stay in the same circle of people. Now, I always say for the first 5 years of my business, I call myself, I was a salesperson selling financial product. And I was in the same circle of friends, of people in the same circle doing the same thing, just like anybody else in any business, right? Or any job. But then, as I continue to understand financial service space and I start understanding the world that I'm in, I say, you know what? It's time to step outside the box and start thinking like the wealthy families that I've seen. Because when I read the stories of all these wealthy people, I realize, wait a minute, lots of them are immigrants, just like me, right? They came from some other country, but they figured out the American system. The question is, are you figuring out the American system or are you just caught up in the matrix and just excited about, the freedom that you have? Because we understand that a lot of us come from countries where we can't really say too much because we're scared, right? But here, there's so much freedom you could do, say pretty much, talk about the president, talk about whoever you want to talk about. Nobody will harass you as long as you're not threatening the person. But you could cuss everybody out, cuss out everyone you want, and you could still go to work, all that and still get a paycheck, right? Um, so being that and being in this country, understanding the system was very, very key, especially when I found out that, hey, I'm a business partner with the US government. And whenever I say that, a lot of people wonder, what do you mean by that? Well, we are all business. Everybody in America is a business partner with the US government. When you have a social security number, the first thing you need to understand is your social security number is your tax ID number, which means you got to pay taxes and the government takes the money out of their paycheck. Because the two departments of the US government, that's very strong, very, very powerful. It's the IRS, Department of Revenue, and the immigration. Those two are very strong. And the reason they're very strong because the IRS brings revenue into the country. That's their job to provide money and bring into the country. So if you don't understand who's taking money out of your paycheck, how they operate, because the US government don't print money. They make money off of taxes, right? And understanding that that's a big chunk of a lot of people's paycheck. So one thing I'm going to be sharing my screen as we talk to kind of get your mindset because what I'm going to be doing today is not your traditional financial literacy or financial education that you've heard, so many people tell you about. I'm going to go against all that today. So you just be ready to change your mindset because one thing that I've understood is the banks, the media, and the government, three of them, they work together. They're all business partners on a high level. They work together to benefit each other. A lot of times when you think about the government or you think about the banks or you think about the media, unfortunately for so many people, the picture that you paint in your face, in your mindset is a picture of your bank manager or the bank teller, when you're thinking about a bank, not realizing that a bank is an institution, it's an entity. They're not going to retire. The US government is not going to retire. The media is not looking to retire at age 65. You
Mhm.
are going to retire. You are not going to leave this world alive. There's no expiration date on your birth certificate. So when the time comes, you're going to die. When we die, the question now is all this money that you've been, because some people chase money for whatever reason, money should be chasing you, not the other way around. We're going to talk about that in a minute because money wants to chase you, wants to work for you. So for when you acquire all these things, because so many people are just focused on, I gotta make more money, I gotta make more money. And then it involves a lot of risk and they lose a lot of money. So understanding that when we pass away, everything we have, the house that we bought, the business that we started, all those things remains in the country. The only person going on the ground is just you. That's it. You can't take none of these things with you. So understanding that, how do you want your family to continue? See, that's some of the conversation that I started understanding for myself first, because I started sitting back instead of getting confused and brainwashed by the media. I said, man, I must just stop watching the media because their job is to get in your mindset and brainwash you. Why? Because once they do that, they're going to feed the banks and they're going to feed the government with the information. So what the first thing I want to show you before we jump in is I have a cup here, right? You'll see the cup. It has water in it. So
Mhm.
this water is very powerful. We all know what water can do. Water destroy the world. Hurricane happens, water can do so much. But right now it's sitting in this cup, and this water is saying to me, Douglas, I'm water. I'm very powerful. You just pour me into this cup. I'm nothing, I'm doing nothing here. Absolutely nothing. You're making me lazy. And I'm water. I'm not supposed to be lazy. I'm
Mm.
supposed to be doing some work. What would you like me to do for you? Do you want to go take a shower with me? Do you want to use me to cook? Do you want to use me to wash your car? Do you want to use me to clean the ground? But sitting in this cup, I'm lazy. I'm not doing anything. You need to make a decision fast, Douglas. If I ignore it and I put it down on the ground, guess what the water is going to do? It's going to start evaporating.
Great. Yeah.
It's going to evaporate. It's going to go somewhere. It's going to go find a job for itself. They say, well, this you don't know my value. I'm going to leave. Well, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? Same thing with your money. When you make money, your money comes in and is asking you, what do you want to do with me? Do you want to? I could do a lot of things. I'm a tool that you can use. I could make you very wealthy. I could help you put shelter over your head. I could protect you. I could go do so many things. I could take your children and put them in the school that you want. I could do so many things for you. But me just sitting down and doing nothing is not what I was made for. You need to make a decision fast. If you don't make a decision fast, guess what happens? A message is going to come on your cell phone. Today, they make it very easy. The media will send a message because the bank already told the media, hey, he got some money in his bank account. And then you get a commercial that comes in. Hey, and you're sitting down with your wife or your children. We need to go to Disney World. Boom. And you book the flight, and guess what? The money is gone. So the question is, when you make money, what are you doing with your money? How are you growing your money? So here's how I want to paint the picture for you. I want you to understand something. For those of us that have children, the first 9 months before the day of the delivery, for the ladies, it wasn't that easy. There's so much stuff. Some women are sick during that time, and then when you finally go into labor and you have that beautiful baby that you give birth to, you don't take your baby and look at your baby and say, well, welcome to the world. Let me hand you off to someone else that is stranger to take care of you. No, you're like, man, I'm gonna protect you. I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure that you are successful. because you worked hard to have that child. But what about how your money? Nobody on this call watching me makes money or money shows up an easy way. It's very hard to make money. It's hard work to make money. Now, when you make the money, the question is, how are you protecting your hard-earned money? Because the money comes in and say, okay, here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm money. First, we need to put me in a place where I'm protected, that nobody can steal me away from you. But unfortunately, for so many people, we have the money going in the wrong place. So I want to show this real quick to kind of share how the government makes money. I hope you all can see my screen. So
Yes.
this is the US household debt issue. It's a big problem in America, right? Huge problem. Debt. Everyone in America has some form of debt issue. All right. So if we look at the statistics, over 44 million Americans hold a total of 1.4 trillion in student loan debt, 1 trillion in credit card debt. 43 million Americans have medical debt. Americans hold a total of $8.8 trillion in mortgage debt. Auto loan balances grew by 64 billion to 1.22 trillion dollars. See, American households, that's every one of us listening to this, collectively hold $13.15 trillion in debt. Collectively, that's every one of us. Now, we have all these so-called 300,000 financial advisors, 400,000 life insurance agents, 1.3 million attorneys, 664,000 CPAs. These are all professionals that have licenses to help these folks here, but they're not able to help them. Why? Why? I kept asking myself, why can't I help a family that comes to me and they have debt? Because I was one of these people for a long time until I realized, wait a minute, Douglas, you're a part of these statistics. You are also in debt because the American dream is what? Home ownership. You know, buy a house, go to school, student loan debt, credit card debt. Oh, you got to get a car debt, auto loan. We all have that. So if I'm in this group and I'm in debt, how am I going to help these other people? I can't. So are these guys here. They can't either because they're all in debt too. It's like the blind leading the blind. And guess where we're leading them to? Straight into slavery. See the handcuff, debt to slave. We've heard that before. It's in the Bible, right? Debt to slave. And when you're debt to slave, you know, I mean, you're slave to debt. How are you going to succeed? How are you going to ever win in the financial game? So I have to step outside that box and I say, you know what? I'm going to figure this out so I could help you start thinking differently. So when I did that, it changed my financial life. And now I'm able to do the stuff that I want to do, knowing that no matter what happens, I have everything in place to protect my hard-earned money. Another thing I want to show you is what happens, the risk that you go through. See, a lot of times, most people don't realize what type of risk is affecting their money. See, you know, one thing that we teach in our company, you know, True Legacy Life, you know, we set up that company to strictly be able to get contracts with the financial institutions that we do business with. Now, let me break down financial institution and I want to make it easy for you to understand. A financial institution, banks, you know, investment companies, insurance companies, they're financial institution. What do? They develop products. That's all they do. They design products, and every year they come up with a product. I call them a manufacturing company. They manufacture products just like a car dealership, a car manufacturing company, like a Toyota or Mercedes Benz or any of those things. They manufacture products. So when they manufacture products, guess what they have? Those car companies, those car manufacturers have what they call dealerships. that they don't own them. A lot of dealerships are franchises, or that sell those products, those make cars. So if we use
Cars.
Toyota, for example, Toyota have so many dealerships all over the country. Now you might go to one dealership and have a great experience. And you be like, man, I'll always go back to this dealership no matter what, every time, because you're a Toyota lover. Or you go to another dealership and you get a bad experience. You're like, man, I'll never go to this dealership no matter what. Well, same thing when it comes to financial products. When the manufacturers of the products, they design their product, then they have what they call distributors. That's what we are, the dealerships. So there's different distributors in the industry. The key for us is when you come into our dealership, we want to make sure you have the best experience so that you understand exactly what it is. You're fully educated instead of us just selling you a product. See, most times when you buy a product that you don't understand, guess what? You're not going to use it well and you're not going to value it. So unfortunately, a lot of the folks that in the same industry, what happens is they just pushing products. They don't take the time to understand the value of what they're even offering. So many people don't realize that when they make money, they need to first understand the risk that falls in place. We have this step 5 in our 7-step process that we teach. I'm actually doing an event this evening at 8 o'clock, where we're going to go over the whole 7 steps, where we help families not just build wealth, but also become debt free at the same time. So in our 7-step process, we have a step 5 that says, don't lose a lifetime of work. A lifetime of work. Don't lose it. Why? Because you need to first understand what are your potential risk when it comes to your hard-earned money. What can take your wealth away? And like this, think about it. I'll give an example. See, we have a gentleman that just died in a plane crash, helicopter crash. The guy's a very powerful guy, runs a very, CEO of a very successful company, brought his daughter for a birthday. And what happened? His wife, and his 3 daughters died in a plane crash, helicopter crash. Everything
Wow.
ended. That's the death part. See, death doesn't care who you are. It's going to happen. We just don't know when. I hope and pray that when that happened, because he left a lot of things behind. Remember, he can't take none of the stuff he purchased during his lifetime. His what? Lifetime of work. He can't take it with him. But how is that being protected? Does he have anything protecting it? We already know that when it comes to a lot of your lifetime of work, how are you protecting or minimize taxes? When you look at the wealthy people, what do? They always find ways to minimize their tax liability. Why? Because they understand that tax is a big chunk of their hard-earned money. So what do? They pay less taxes. Now, understand this. We're not saying don't pay taxes. We're just saying understand how the wealthy roll. See, unfortunately, for so many people, the tax code is already written, but some CPAs, they don't take the time. A CPA, let's define that. A CPA is a certified public accountant. They're an accountant. The question is, do you have a tax professional that understands taxes? Now, we have CPAs that go the extra mile to understand the tax codes, the tax loopholes. Because remember, it wasn't a computer that wrote the tax code, it was a human being. But that human being retired from their job and does what? And now they go work for the wealthy people. Just like all the Secret Service guys, all the FBI guys, they retire from their job and they go do what? They go start working for the wealthy people and be their security. and create a very, very strong, because they've been trained by the best government in the world. The US government, the strongest military in the world, the strongest security department in the world. So they go work for these wealthy people. And of course, all of us civilians, we can't afford to hire security like them, right? The wealthy can. Of course, but the key for you is, the good news is, if one person can do it, another can do it too. You just got to find someone that understands the tax codes to help you take advantage and minimize your liability. Because for every dollar you earn, 40% of your dollar goes to where? Taxes. 40%. You got your income tax, you got utility tax. I mean, it goes on and on. There's so many taxes. I actually have a slide on that. Look at all the taxes that you have to pay. Capital gain tax. When you make profit on your investment, you pay capital gain tax. Even that homeowners that they told you, oh, home ownership is wealth. Well, depending on when you sell it, will determine if you have to pay capital gain tax, sales tax, utility tax, property. It just goes on and on. So tax is a big chunk. And then what about the market? Your money going up and down. You just told me that you worked hard to make the money. So why are you losing your money to the stock market? Today, everybody is talking about the 401k is down. Well, the 401k is just a garage. It's a garage that's owned by the government. The question is the investment inside your 401k. What type of investment is in it? You know, are you losing money? A lot of people have lost money because that's based on the market going up and down. You shouldn't let your money be determined based on what's going on in the economy. That shouldn't affect your money. Then the other one is inflation. Inflation is another problem. Your dollar is saying, why are you putting me here? I'm not even making anything. It's like taking your dollar and you're getting 0% interest rate. You're putting it in the wrong vehicle. The money, the inflation is already eating into it, because your dollar today is more valuable than your dollar in the future. The question to you is, your dollar today, are you putting it to work so that in the future, when you retire, when you get to that age, will your dollar that you saved, that you made today, in the future, would it be able to maintain your lifestyle, the same lifestyle that you're already accustomed to? Do you want the same lifestyle that you're living today, or better in the future? We all say we want better. I've never met anyone that say I want a lower lifestyle. Most times when you say that is because you never took into consideration inflation. Emergencies. What will happen if you become, sick? An emergency happens. You need to fix a roof in your house, a plumbing issue, electric issue, or whatever the case might be. That's an emergency. Your car breaks down. That's an emergency. What are you going to do? Do you have money set aside for it? See, that's the part they didn't tell you when you bought that house that you're living in. You didn't do the real estate agent that sold it to you. Remember, there's sales. I'm not against any real estate agent. I just want you to be able to educate your clients before you jump in. My wife is a realtor, but we make sure before we put somebody in a home, they understand, they count the cost, they know exactly what they're getting into, not just jump out there and buy a property. See, most times when people buy properties thinking, oh yeah, it's great, I got it, I'm paying the same amount of mortgage, because remember, it's a loan. Mortgage is a loan, it's not the real estate part. I'm paying the same loan as my rent, but they didn't take into consideration taxes, insurance, property tax, insurance that you got to pay. They didn't take into consideration all the repairs that has to happen. A lot of us that have owned homes already, we know what happens with the housing market. We know that it's not all the stuff. The only thing we give ourselves is, well, at least it's my house. I don't have to worry about, my neighbors or whatever. Well, it depends on where you live. So, but that's another conversation. What if an emergency happens? Most times, because it happened to me, I always share me because I want to make sure that you learn from my personal experience. One time we had plumbing issue. Why? Because what happened? We're in Maryland. It's winter here, it gets cold. What if the pipes burst? And it happens, right? Well, when it happens, you got to call a plumber. And the plumbers, they're not free when they come out. But if I was staying in an apartment or renting, I'm not calling a plumber, I'm calling the landlord. Well, I couldn't call the bank that gave me the money to say, hey, you're my landlord, right? I pay you every month. No, I called the plumber. And when the plumber pulls up, he's pulling up not just with his tools, but with the invoice on how much he's going to charge you. The question is, are you going to be able to pay or you got to wait to save up the money? Disability. What if you become sick or disabled and you cannot work? What happens? Most people don't have a disability protection on them on their income. The same money you work hard to go make. What if you become disabled? See, a lot of times when something happens to someone else, we're like, oh man, I feel so sorry for him. Well, what if it happens to you? What would you do if you're disabled? Go to the hospital and see people laying up in the hospital that are sick, that are disabled. Those same people have a house. Those same people have children. They have families, but they can't take care of them no more because the income done. There's no disability protection. Do you have one? Is your financial professional talking to you about disability protection on you, on your income? What about lawsuit? What if somebody should sue you? What if somebody should sue you? What are you going to do? How are you protected? Because remember, we're in America. America is a country where some people make money working very hard and they make a lot of money. And then there's some people that make their money suing people because they're lazy. They don't want to work. They just want to find
Yep.
somebody to sue. And the more successful you get, the more people become jealous of you. Just like a lot of countries are jealous of America because America got a lot of wealth. And when you have a lot of wealth, people are jealous. They want to sue you. They want to take your stuff. How are you protecting yourself? See, that's why the US government spends 70% of its budget is on defense,
Defense.
protecting its wealth and the people. See, sometimes we come into a country, you got to understand, just follow the money. The US government is the strongest, their branding game is the best. You want to learn how to brand your company? Just study how the US government brands its company.
Yeah.
And then you get outliving your money. When you finally retire, is your money going to outlive you or are you going to outlive your money? The next time you go to Walmart, that person greeting you at the door, telling you, welcome to Walmart, can I help you? That's 65, 70, 80 years old. Take
Mm-hmm.
time and have a conversation with them and ask them, take them to lunch and say, what happened? Because you've lived your life for 75 years. Why are you working at Walmart? He's not working there because he loved the uniform. He walked in there because he ran out of money. And there's so many people, unfortunately, that were getting ready to retire, maybe 2 years from now, maybe even this year, that their retirement account just went down the drain. Now they got to go back to work. See, folks, it's not just about selling you a product. What we do is we like to get in your mind and help you change your mindset, help you understand how to move and work with your hard-earned money. Because your money wants to work for you. Your money wants to be your slave.
Mm.
It doesn't want you chasing it. When you chase money, you're gonna lose because nobody likes to be chased. Women, ladies, no, you don't. You see a beautiful woman, you start chasing. No, she's not. She'll run away from you like this crazy guy.
That's true.
Is that true? Yeah, right. Same thing with money. Money don't like to be chased. It wants you to stand and say, "Come, come talk to me." And then the money appreciates that. Women appreciate the guy that doesn't run after them. Same thing with money. Money wants to work for you. So the question is, are you allowing your money to work for you? So, don't know if we have any question.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
I
are
was going
definitely
to
going to have questions, but thank you so much, Brother Douglas. Every time you come here or every time I watch you, I learn something new. So, Niasom, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say he should have a sip of water. So we go to our audience and see if they have questions to ask. I see Debbie is muted. Please, if you can unmute and ask any question on your mind to our brother here discussing financial, building wealth rather with us. So Debbie, please, if you have a question, go ahead and ask. She is muted.
Dr. Crossley. Yeah, Debbie is muted. Kindly unmute yourself, please, to ask
Yeah,
the
please
question.
unmute yourself and ask Mr. Isaac your questions. Oh, not
Dr. Crossley, okay, I think Dr. Crossley is trying to unmute.
yes.
I see her.
That's right.
Dr. Crossley, okay, go ahead, Dr.
Yeah.
Crossley.
Oh, hi, everyone. Yes, I am driving and just listening to the keynote speaker today reminded me of the corporate environment that I was raised in. I thank God it's not normal to thank you, Jesus, for what he was saying, the 49 million people. I thank God I'm in the 1%. And I've actually been to San Francisco to see how the 1% lives. And just so he knows that most of my friends never apply for Social Security. And the reason why I mention that, so that in the future, when he's delivering his message, that there may be a 1% in his audience. And the corporate world that I grew up in, a part of the incentive package for all the jobs that I've had was it did entitle us to stocks, wealth, education. All of that came with incentive packages. I don't I don't know what minimum wage does, or I don't even know what that is, the amount. But yeah, they would have professionals come in and give us classes, especially the executives. So yeah, they helped us plan, and because we had to be able to understand our incentive packages and our retirement and all our benefits. So I just wanted to let the whole world know that I'm in that 1%. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Crossley.
you. Yes.
Debbie, are you able to unmute? I see Dr. Michelle is back. She was on earlier and we dropped her. We lost her. Dr. Michelle, do you have a question for Mr. Douglas? You can kindly unmute yourself and ask your question.
It's a delight to be here and hear this information. Always love Mr. Ezzy's perspective. So my question is, in these uncertain times, when people aren't sure about what's going to happen next, what would be the one move you would tell folks they should make to secure where they are now and their future to come?
Yeah, because everyone is different, in where they're at. So one thing that will make sense for people to start looking is taking a greater, deep dive look into their whole financial bucket. And when I say financial bucket, I mean, where are they parking their money currently? And what is that money doing where it's being parked? Unfortunately, for so many folks, they might have their money in the wrong financial bucket. And a financial bucket, just like the water analogy I use, the cup. If there's holes in this cup, guess what's going to happen? The water is going to drain out very fast. So the question is, where you're parking money currently right now, what are the holes in it? So it's good to identify and pay attention. Unfortunately for so many folks, they make money, but they don't know where they're putting their money. They rely on someone else to help them with it, and they just sell you a product. And the question you got to be asking yourself is, the product that I'm being sold right now, how is it going to benefit me later? And what are the holes in that bucket? Now, so many people have the 401k product, of course. It's what they've been sold to have, which sounds good until it's time to start taking income from it. Because all you did was postpone the taxes that you have. So, so it's always a good idea for the person to, if you're in the United States, make sure you reach out to us. Let us help you understand what's going on in your financial world, because everyone's situation is very different.
Thank you so
Brother,
much.
yeah, Brother Douglas, please can you put your website on the chat box, and also your calendar if you don't mind. Sister Debbie, I know you have questions. I don't know if you cannot hear us. Can you unmute yourself, Sister Debbie, and ask questions? Okay, while we're waiting for Sister Debbie. Brother Douglas, for those who don't have steady income, those who are self-employed, and in the current economy, things are really tough. I've been to the grocery store twice in the last month, and when I saw my bill and I looked at my card, I don't know, it doesn't reconcile, it doesn't make sense. I look at my card and my shopping cart and the amount, my receipt, I'm like, what did I buy for this? I'm talking about twice in the last month. And each time I was taken aback. In the past, I never used to look at the prices of things. Now I look at the prices of things. So those who are self-employed without regular income, especially in this, where I don't know whether to call it a recession. I don't think it's just an inflation. What can they do? Those who are self-employed, how can they save money when you turn around, money just keeps coming out and it's really tough to get money in? Or you have clients that are so broke they can't pay their bills, and it will cost you money to take them to court, or sometimes you feel bad. You don't even have the time, or you just feel bad, to take them to court. But you have a lot of money out there you can't even collect because the economy is bad. What kind of advice do you have for those people?
Well, the thing is this. That's a great question. Unfortunately, for so many people, that are self-employed, um, they don't realize that being self-employed is one of the hardest thing to do, because I'm self-employed. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
self-employed. So I want to share this picture, and then I'll, help you understand what a self-employed person should do. Because first is to understand where your money is going. So
Okay.
when we work a full-time job, a lot of times people tell folks that are self-employed that, hey, why, you know, maybe they were working a full-time job, and then
Mm-hmm.
they told them, start a business, as if starting a business is the best thing to ever do.
Yeah.
Not realizing that starting a business has it's a lot of work involved. And
Yep.
you gotta be willing to work 80 hours, you know, 48 hours.
That's true.
You gotta be working ready to work, because it's not easy to be that. So, and remember, folks, one thing that we talk about and that I teach is, when you make income and your income comes in as an individual, I'll start with a W-2 income earner that makes
Mm-hmm.
100K. Well, the government already sees the 100,000, and because you have a social security number, which is your tax ID number in the eyes of the government says, hey, wait a minute, you owe us 20%. That means you gotta pay the government $20,000 before
$1,000.
you take your money. But then your job says, well, you could contribute to a 401k. You're like, really? Oh, yeah. All right, great. How much you want to contribute? 10% of your income. So you're going to take $10,000 and put into this investment tank. See how it says investment? It has no cap and it has a big word there, risk. So now you put the money in there. Now you got $10,000 in this tank. So your taxable income now is no longer 100,000, it's now $90,000. But your tax bracket didn't change. You still got to pay 20%. Using that example, 20% of 90,000 is what? $18,000. So now you 18K and then your take home is 72K. Understanding now that your 72K is your take home, because you did all this scenario, you could have taken home 80,000, but you chose to do what? Put $10,000
Thousand.
into this account. And all you did was the government just said, well, all right, you've moved your money. Your name is, Douglas or whatever. Well, no worries. We see your age. We see you're 30 years old. So we just got to wait 35 years to collect the money from you. Because we're not going anywhere. When you retire, we're going to be right here. And then hopefully your company decides to match. Oh, you get a company match. And remember, those financial experts that like the young lady was talking about earlier, that told you to put the money. It's free money. Sounds good. Free money. And then you put the company says, I'll give you 10%. Let's just use that. So that's $10,000. They're matching 100% of the money. So 10%, so
20K.
10K, free 10K. Well, the government's like, well, thank you so much, because now we got $20,000 to tax.
Tax.
So
Wow.
again, all you did was postpone the tax bill. And then who knows when the government, the new president comes in, the new person that's going to run the company comes in and say, we're going to raise tax on the rich.
Rich.
And you think they're talking about Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, or any of those? No, they're not talking about those folks. They're talking about you receiving that W-2 income. But now let's take it to our self-employed brothers and sisters that are self-employed. Well, self-employed means you have a business. And now you also taking risk, because every day your business goes up and your business goes down. Your business goes up, your business goes down. And you're also taking other financial risk, because you could get sick. Most self-employed people don't even have health insurance. Most self-employed people don't even have benefits. Now they talked you out of your job that had benefits to become self-employed. Now you finally make a profit in your business. You make the same 100K. What does a self-employment person does? Well, I made 100,000, but I don't want to pay taxes. They start writing off everything as expense. And they only said, okay, you made 10K. You can't even buy a house with $10,000, because that's your income. That's what you pay taxes to the IRS on. 10,000, that's your income. And you can't buy a house, you can't do anything, because the banks will loan you money because you don't have a salary. Now, what happens? Let's go back and look at the way some self-employed people do. Then you go talk to a financial advisor and they do what? They say, okay, well, you could contribute to a solo 401k, and they put you back into another investment tank that now you have money in there. But what happens? You have all this money sitting in that tank. And the way it looks, as you continue to contribute money in that tank, and the government says, okay, no problem. This is your money. No, you have that money in there. You can't touch it though. Every business owner does what? We all need access to capital. We need access to money. But when you lock your money up in a retirement account because you listen to some guy that told you to put the money in there, and then the rest of your money, what happens? It goes, you still got to pay taxes, right? Pay
Taxes.
the taxes, and then the rest goes to your mortgage, your house, your car, and before you know it, the money is gone. So many people don't have money in their safe
Savings.
bank. So they're struggling. So one thing that I'll tell this self-employed person is, first off, you gotta remember, you are already taking a risk. Because what is a mutual fund? What is a stock? That's somebody else's company. Mutual funds, stocks, those are all businesses. So you already have a business. Why are you taking your hard-earned money and putting it back and loaning
For
it to
this
somebody
business.
else? And then when the market falls, you lose money. So one thing I'll say is the first thing you need to do after you get that 100K income, the good news for
Save
you
your
is
money.
you get to decide what you want to do. Now, of course, there's ways for you to pay yourself a salary if you want to, depending on what you're looking to qualify for. But the good news is the government also allows you to pay the taxes after your expenses. And you could also say, you know what? I want to also put money away. I'll give the government their tax bill, let them get their money. Then the rest of the money, I'm going to put it in a safe tank.
Savings. Yeah.
And then I'm still going to take care of all my expenses the way I'm going to do because I still got to live. I still got to enjoy my lifestyle. And then when you do that, you have the safe money growing for you and it's there. But the question is, where are you putting this safe money? Unfortunately, for so many people, they put in an account where when it's time for an emergency happens on your house or your car, what do? We go into safe tank and we drain the tank, and or your customers don't pay and you go in your savings account, like you just talked about, Dr. Pam, and you drain your tank. See,
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I will advise someone is if you're not making enough income in your business, find a way to generate additional income. There's no shame in the game because you don't need to impress anyone. The only person you need to be impressing is you. When I was starting my business, that it was going up and down, up and down. I had to do what? Get me a job,
Yeah.
sustain while I get my income heavy enough. So, for example, if you have a full-time job right now, and your full-time job, I'm just using this example, just makes the math simple, 100K a year. That's what you're earning. And your company takes out 30%, just using that number, or 20%, whichever one, that's 30K. That means your take home is $70,000, right? If that's your take home. Now you start a business, and if your business is only making you 100K, and you have to write off everything because remember your job does all the write-off because your salary is a write-off for the company. So what I would tell you to do is make sure your business before you quit your job is going to generate 200,000. The
Okay, twice the
100,000
amount.
of that 200 is what you're going to use for your expenses. The other
Mm-hmm.
100,000 is because you're already used to $100,000 lifestyle,
So true.
right? So the other money, even if it's 130, you get to now pay taxes on 100. So because you're used to $100,000 lifestyle, so you should be having $100,000 lifestyle as a business owner. And then when you want to get more technical, more advanced, we'll show you how to fully protect your money so
Money.
that you can have a shield protecting your hard-earned money so that no matter what happens, nobody can sue you and take your hard-earned money.
Money. Wow. That really, you really broke it down, Brother Douglas. And Dr. Crossley has her hands up.
Yes.
After that, we'll go to the top of the hour. So Dr. Crossley, go ahead and ask your question real quick. At the top, we have less than 2 minutes to go
Oh
to the
no, oh no, it's a question. It's a comment I wanted to make to you, Her Excellency. You had mentioned the supermarket. And I was in the supermarket when you had mentioned that. And I, just so you know, I go every day to the supermarket. And I used to use coupons. And so, like, the next time you go, you may want to save up some coupons. But I shop with coupons and I get the buy one. Oh, can't see me. There you go. buy one, get one free. I use those. So, and like say for fruit, I only get what I can consume so that it doesn't go bad. And like Professor Nielsen was saying a couple of shows ago, that his wife had a can. So there's a lot of ideas so that you can enjoy this journey and have fun. It's not all bleak and bad, and it's not the end of the world. Thank you.
Dr. Crossley, thank you so much for that. To be honest with you, I'm glad you brought up coupon. That has not crossed my mind. I'm telling you the truth. I've never used a coupon in grocery store. It's not a issue of pride. I'm saying it just don't cross my mind. So I thank you for mentioning that. Let's everybody can take a sip of water. Let me go ahead and play our anthem. And hold on a second here. I'm trying to share the sound so everybody can see. And then hold on a second here.
So, Brother Ezra will be right back there. After the anthem, we'll be right back.
Can you guys hear the anthem?
Yeah.
Africans, Africans for Africa. 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 Africans have many bright ideas. If only you let us share. If you really want to know my history, please come, sit down, listen to my story. God gave us a wisdom. He guides our footsteps, makes us shine and transform. Hey, as one people, with so many cultures, yet indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us all unite behind AfricaOnline Media Corporation. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. It's time to come together, promote awareness, progress, and solution. Hey. Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. All Africans can rally for a common cause, to believe without judgment in what our brother does. To identify and resolve our challenges, to allow each other's ideas without regard to standards. As one people with so many cultures, yes indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Let us solve all the problems plaguing our continent. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us empower Africans in and out of Africa. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. AfricaOnline Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. They have all the resources we need to benefit our society. Oh. Education for everyone. If we believe prosperity for Africans. If we believe medical facilitation for Africans. We believe. Stand up, Africa, yes, for Africa. Africa Online Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Africa is the cradle of civilization, the motherland. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. We were enslaved not because we were weak, but because of our hospitality. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Jump on the Africa Online Miracle Jet, don't be left behind. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Together we shall succeed, together we will win. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. We are writing our own story, the truth, and we shall tell it to the world. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. No more lies, Africans own Africa.
No more lies, Africans own Africa. We own full rights to that song. I wrote that song back in 2016. Our son DJ Skipper composed it, so that's our song. The Africa Online anthem. We also, our sister organization, Africa's Brain Bank, has an anthem too. So next week we're gonna continue financial literacy. If our brother is available, he will let me know. If not, we'll continue because April is Financial Literacy Month. The last Sunday of the month, we always do a medical topic. And next, in September, Labor Day weekend, our sister organization, Africa's Brain Bank, is having its 6th annual summit and charity ball in New York City. It is a must attend. I want to encourage everyone. I'm going to be putting the link on the chat box. I want to encourage everyone to buy their tickets. We're not selling tickets at the gate. Buy the tickets. Once you buy the tickets, you will get the link, the discount link to book your hotel room. New York will be vibrating that weekend, so hotel rooms are going to be sold out. Brother Douglas will be delivering the keynote address on the business to investor to business session on Friday. I am telling you, if you want to get a sneak preview of how good this guy is, just go to our website and watch him in 2022 in Atlanta and 2023 in Los Angeles, and you will see what I'm talking about. I remember when he spoke for the first time in 2022, the alarm bells went off on all of our heads. People made changes. A lot of people transformed their life. They made changes. They booked to see. That's his calendar in the chat box. In New York, we're going to be discussing Africa's brain drain and how to stop it. And I will be delivering the keynote address for the first time because I coordinate the event, but because of this particular topic, I have to deliver the keynote. So I'm expecting to see all of you there in New York. I've put the ticket link in the chat box. Purchase your tickets, share it. If you cannot come, donate or sponsor. We're a 501c3. We're expecting about 100 students, and just the cost of each student attending on a Saturday is $250. So if you cannot come, you should try to support some students. Because the students are our future. We need to have them there. So I want to thank everyone. So Nia-san, we're gonna go back to you. And I don't know, Debbie, are you able to speak? Debbie, do you have a question? Maybe she stepped away because I know Debbie would definitely have something to say.
It's unmuted now.
All right, Debbie, yes. The mic is yours.
Hello, Your Highness. Good afternoon, and thank you so much, Nia-san, and thank you as well to our wonderful presenter, Dr. Eze. It's I've listened to you before, and it's an honor listening to you again. Your Highness, thank you for giving me the microphone. I just want to appreciate what Dr. Eze has shared with us. And I hope that he can come back and share more of these nuggets, because it's difficult in one session to absorb everything and then replicate
true.
or plan on using it. Because
Mhm.
I'm looking about these things relating to 401k, and you put this, I put that, you merge this, you merge this. And I'm wondering, isn't there a better way for us? Oh, this is for Dr. Izzy. Isn't there a better way for us to do things rather than be always dependent on Uncle Sam? Or Uncle Sam could be anyone, not necessarily in America, but whatever part of the world we live in. Is there a possibility we can do our lives in such a way that we are not dependent on others for financial support, because the financial support is what leads us into not having health issues, and it's also what helps us to protect our immediate families, and if possible extend to support those that need us, like the conference coming up at the end of the month. If I had access, I would love to support that. But if you're barely making ends meet, breaking even with your income, how can you support causes that you feel for? Where would you get that excess income? Because your hands are tied with whatever you have. This is for you, Dr. Eze. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. And definitely. So, one of the first things you got to think about is the way the system is structured, especially here in America. The system is structured for folks to be dependent on the government. And because folks are dependent on the government, even though most people don't see it that way, some people think, oh, if I'm not receiving Social Security, I don't depend on the government. Now, we're not talking about that. The system is designed to fund the banks. The system is designed to fund the media, to fund the government. Why do I say that? And then all the other entities that's also around, like the healthcare, because all these organizations, none of them print money. The US government don't print money. The financial institutions, the banks, they don't print money. So how do they make money? Well, they use one strategy, and that strategy is other people's money.
Money.
Other people's money. So the problem that most of us have, especially immigrants that come to the country that don't understand the financial system of America, what do? We keep using our money one time. See, your money that you make is saying, I want to work for you. Use me multiple times. Don't just give me one job. What do I mean by that? Well, think about when you want to, let me bring up my picture again, and in fact, I want to do something different. I want to show you something that we do at our company. All right.
Awesome.
For a lot of our clients, real quick. So this is someone that has debt. Look at the debt, $347,000. That's their current debt. Now, when we look at their real debt, and this is so, the fact that most people don't see this, $592,000. That's including the interest they got to
Interest.
pay.
Oh my
So this
God.
person is making income, but the money is leaving. They're going to be in debt for 30 years. Now, this is 592,000. And if I asked you right now and say, how many debts you think they have? Some of you might be like 20, 30, 50, right? A lot, right?
One. That's one debt, a mortgage.
That's actually two debts. Mortgage and our friend Toyota, the two cars right there. Two debts, and they owe $347,000 total, plus the interest the bank will make, $244,000. Now, if you look
Oh
at
my
this
God.
scenario, 41% of their monthly payment, look at what they're paying every month, $22,000 a month.
Oh,
41% goes to debt, to the interest, to the banks.
wow.
Only 58% is going to go pay this principal down. That's why it's going to take this person a long
That,
time to pay off the
oh
debt.
my
Look at the
God.
interest rate that Toyota is charging them, 16.91% for financing a $10,000 car.
Lord have mercy.
4% for financing a $337,000 house. See that? So understanding that the banks make money off of interest. Banks don't make money, your money sitting in the bank. It's a liability when your money sits in the bank. They make money off of interest rate. And because they make money off of interest, guess what they're going to keep doing? Keep attracting you to take a loan, especially when you have good credit. See, understanding that good credit means you're responsible, you're a good person, you pay your debts on time. Obviously, this person pays their debt on time. They have a 4% interest on their loan. This is high interest. Maybe they did it when they had bad credit because obviously the car wasn't 10 grand. But they came to us and they said, Douglas, I don't have a lot of debt, but I need your help. I said, all right, we can help you. But the first thing we're going to show you and teach you is we don't want you to pay anything extra because all the people they've talked to say make extra payment. You've heard that,
Yes.
right? Pay extra.
Mm-hmm.
Don't pay the minimum. Pay extra. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, nah, don't do that. Don't pay the minimum. I mean, don't make any extra payment. There's a reason why we don't want them making extra payment. So because of that, we show them how banks work. And the first thing we did was get them out of debt fast in 9.5 years. Look at that.
Mm.
We paid off the whole 30-year debt in 9.5 years without them using their money. We showed them a different strategy of using someone else's money. And they still paid off the Toyota, but this time they paid off the Toyota in 5 months. They paid
Oh.
off the house, the mortgage, in 9.5 years. But here's the most important part. They saved interest of $128,000. They freed up $2,000 a month. And now they're able to save over $1.8 million. See, the key is this. This is the same amount of time it would have taken them to pay their mortgage, 30 years. They're going to have 1.8 million because what we've done is say we're going to get you out of debt while building wealth at the same time. Instead of paying off your debt and you start saving. No, I want to do everything at the same time because time is very valuable. You cannot pay off your debt in 5 years and then start saving afterwards, which is what most people have told people to do. You've
Mm-hmm.
lost time, opportunity cost. Debbie, I see you raise your hand.
Debbie, you're muted. Okay. You're muted. Can you unmute?
Okay. Debbie.
She's trying to unmute.
Oh, yeah, she did.
Dr. Izzy, that is so exciting in terms of paying off that mortgage in nine instead of
9.5 years.
9.5 years. Thank you very much. But what about this scenario of credit cards? I mean, this is not for me because for my credit card, I make money from having a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the month, whatever I spend, I pay it off and I get a percentage back. And the percentage I get from my credit card is more than what anything, if it's similar to what I have in the credit card on my savings account, does not even make that amount back to me as interest on my savings account. So I don't trust banks. So, but how about this scenario where you have, what was the total? $16,000 in credit card loans, and 1,000 is 29.9. I'll just round it up by 0.1. 30% and 15,000 is 25%. And this individual is not making any income to pay off that loan within 3 years or even within 5 years. They cannot. They've been paying just the interest for that period. How can you help such an individual to pay off that credit card loan when you know if they continue to pay only the interest and the minimum, which is usually around $300 to $500, they will never pay off that loan. How can you help such an individual? Thank you, Dr. Ezzy.
Yeah, the first thing is you should send them a text message and tell them to jump on a Zoom or meet with me. Because they gotta be serious about taking care of their financial situation. It's just like your finance is like your health, right? It's like your health. And that's the same way financial institutions look at people. So if a person is serious, so I don't talk to everybody. I don't have time to work with everyone. I only work with people that are serious, responsible, and friendly. These are the only people I want to work with. So they gotta be serious about their finances, just like we're serious about our health. Because if a person is not serious about their health, it doesn't matter what the doctor says. They're not gonna do it. So they gotta be serious. They gotta be coachable and be willing to learn and understand, and then be responsible. Because the strategy that we're going to teach them is not the common thing that everybody is doing. It's going to be different. But if they're serious and they show me they're very serious and they're willing to follow my coaching, we'll be able to help them. So send them a message. They could join one of my, I'm doing a Zoom this evening at 8 p.m. We're going to go over the 7 steps. I'll put the link on here for you. Have them, register for it, and then we'll see them on there so that because you want to help them, but they gotta be willing to help themselves.
That's true. That is so true. And Brother Douglas has talked about credit card versus debit card, and some of us followed that, but somewhere along the line we forgot. And I don't know this thing about debit card, like he keeps saying, all these things, people say, oh, just use a debit card, credit card has interest, debit card doesn't, but then we're not thinking about the rewards that you get from credit cards and the points, but you have to pay it off at the end of the month, so you don't end up paying late charges or finance charges. We'll take one more question and then we'll do the round of the table so Brother Douglas can do a final. Brother Douglas, you heard what she said. Last year you had to come back to back because you have a wealth of knowledge and it's hard to tackle everything in one 90-minute program. But you will let me know. I don't want to put you on the spot. You will let me know if you're available next week. We usually do financial literacy in April. So we have room for one more question and then we'll take the round of the table. Niason, we're not going to extend the show because Brother Douglas has a presentation tonight.
Yeah.
So any question, Dr. Michelle, you have any questions on Niason or Dr. Gloria? Then we'll do the round of the table. The program is a 90-minute program. Please,
my question, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
My question is if somebody wanted to really learn more about what you're doing and even begin to invest correctly and leverage the things that you're going to be teaching and maybe even join you in what you're building, how can they do that?
Yeah, they will go on and just follow me. I'll put my link on here, ceodouglas.com. They could go on that website, just CEO Douglas, and have access to me that way. And then I have different challenges that I do. I have one coming up soon. You could go to creating generational wealth challenge.com, that you could go on and plug into that. And there's so many, I have so many links on YouTube that you could watch videos just to keep educating yourself. And then once you're ready to take action, you go on. I put on my booking site on here, the first one. Let me pin it on
I'm
here.
gonna repost his calendar,
Yeah.
Dr. Michelle. I'm reposting his calendar. Just click the calendar link and schedule a 1-hour meeting with him. Brother Douglas, you're still doing 1 hour, right?
Yeah, definitely. We do.
That's very generous. He's been doing that for years. I mean, I don't know how many people give. Most people is 30 minutes. So this tells you he's passionate about it. So Dr. Michelle, that's his link, his calendar. So you can click his calendar and schedule a one-on-one meeting with him.
And that calendar sits on lagofinancialservices.com website.
Oh, okay, Dr. Michelle, did you see the link, the calendar link?
Yes, I did. Thank you so much for the information. I just
Oh,
know that there are a lot of people who, when they listen to this great information, they might want to know, well, can I be part of that movement? Can I
oh,
join
sure. Yeah.
what Douglas is doing? Mr.
I,
Ezzy is
I would
really
encourage you
available.
I would encourage you to do so. I've seen when he does his conferences or with his team, I mean, it is a showstopper. I think you should consider it seriously. You know, but click that link and you'll get a one-on-one 1 hour with him. And it doesn't get any better than that. One-on-one hour with the cash value king.
The cash value king. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what it is. So Nia, so I think we can do the round.
Yes, and Dr. Michelle, since you're still with us, let me start with you. Your last thoughts on this program today, the discussion today. Tell us what you feel, how you feel, and looking forward.
So many great points of awakening and awareness that we are often blind to. You know, we go about our life and our financial life with such minimal information, and in 1 hour, Mr. Ezzy will just really open up the mind. And so that happened a lot today. I was like, wow, that's so fire. That's so amazing. I want to know more about that. I want other people to know more about it because I'm already connected to him. So I want other people to know that there is this information out here and it's freely given. And it's really life-changing. I can't
Good.
really believe sometimes how much we don't know. And I so applaud Mr. Ezzy for going out to find out what the wealthy knows so he can bring it to all of us. So thank you.
Thank you
That
so
is so
much.
true. And Dr. Michelle, you can meet him in person in New York, Labor Day weekend. The link is on the chat box, the Africa's Brain Bank event coming up Labor Day weekend in New York. Let me repost it. You can meet him in person. He's going to be delivering the keynote on Friday, and he'll be there throughout the weekend. So you can go to that link and register. You'll meet him in person too. Niaso.
Yes, I saw Debbie put up her hand, but took it back. Well, Debbie, I was coming to you for your last word on the discussion.
Debbie, please unmute.
Yeah, there she goes. Your last word, please, as we pull out today.
Thank you very much, Ni and Your Majesty. I just want to appreciate all the speakers that you continuously bring onto the platform, and especially today, because finances seem to be the key of what is holding us in this universe until it's time for us to leave. And I hope that our brother can come back again when his schedule permits and educate us further. And I'll talk to the people that I know. I have the links. Anyone who is willing, able, and capable, I will send them your way. Thank you so much. Back to you, Ni Asong.
Thank you so
Really quick,
much.
Sister Debbie, also share the YouTube link of this program with them.
Right.
Let them watch the program and see,
Right.
you know. And also, I want to encourage everyone here to like our channel and follow us.
Right.
Back to you, Nielsen.
Yes, I see Dr. Crossland, please, your last word.
Hi. Yeah, I'm talking fast because I got to charge my battery on my phone. Thank you so much, Her Excellency, and to Professor Niasan and to the keynote speaker, to everyone who's took the time out. Time is valuable to be on the call today. I enjoyed listening and generating ideas, and one of them is in elementary school. If you all remember, you probably were taught about wealth. And then when you got into college, they refreshed you with that again and even showed you like if you're a smoker and how much you're paying in cigarette costs. And if you stop some of those habits, like even like going out to dinner, and they'll show you how you can really save a lot in money and in healthcare by quitting smoking, for example. I just wanted to share that, and just in case there are ways that there are things that we do that we could probably cut out so that we can help the brain bank, to sponsor someone to be able to attend just by probably not going out for dinner for a couple of weeks. Thank you.
Thank you,
Good
Dr.
idea.
President. We
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing you. Your Excellency, it's your turn now, so please.
Okay, yeah, before
Yes.
I give my last word, Dr. Michelle, we are on this program every Sunday, same time, 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We discuss different topics. For 9 years, we've discussed all kinds of topics you can think of. But the last Sunday of every month, we discuss a health topic. So you can watch it on our Facebook page. We used to stream on Facebook for 8.5 years. We just started streaming on YouTube just a couple of months ago. So please follow us, like us, and then come here. We don't need a special invitation. Brother Douglas, you truly rock. You are amazing. And, you let me know if you're available next Sunday. But thank you also for coming to New York to deliver your keynote on Friday night. And give my sister a big hug from me. Over to you, Nielsen.
Thank you very much, brother. Eze, please don't go away without giving us your last word. Your words are always sinking deep into us and making us think twice. Your last word, please.
Definitely. Thank you so much for the opportunity, to share and inspire and help some folks that are, serious about their finance. Just remember this, folks. At the end of the day, you are more valuable, and you got to make sure you remember that. And the way you grow wealth, the way you grow anything, doesn't matter how hard you work. You can work as hard as you want. All you're gonna do is make money. But when you grow and invest in your mindset, that's how you build a fortune and make a lot of money and build a lot of wealth. Grow your mindset and you will be wealthy. So remember that and protect you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you so very much. And Your Highness, you got the last word again?
No. I was thanking him.
Okay, thank you all very much, Brother Isaac. It's a pleasure being with you again today. April always reminds me that there's somebody around who can comfort me in my financial woes. Thank you so much, and please have a good day, good evening, and enjoy the day, enjoy the week, and we'll see you probably next week. Thank you very much, everyone.
Happy Palm Sunday.